My own brother invited us to Christmas dinner, then waited until the bill arrived to admit he only had $5. What happened next embarrassed everyone at the table except the people who planned it. This is just one of the many times my brother tried to squeeze money out of me and my husband. For some reason, though, this one has always stood out. Maybe because my poor husband ended up caught right in the middle of it. On Christmas Eve, my brother called and invited us to join him and his family for dim sum on Christmas Day. Since my in-laws were out of town and his wife's family celebrated Christmas the day before, everyone was free. It sounded like a nice idea, so we agreed. Anyone who's ever gone for dim sum on Christmas Day knows it's absolute chaos. The restaurant was packed from wall to wall. After waiting about 20 minutes, our group of 7 finally got a table. Despite the crowds and noise, we had a genuinely enjoyable meal. While we waited for the food carts to come around, my husband and I gave our 2 nephews and my mother-in-law their Christmas presents. The adults didn't exchange gifts, so everything felt relaxed and simple. By the time we finished eating, everyone seemed happy. The bill came to roughly $80 before tax and tip. For 7 people, it was actually pretty reasonable. I quickly figured my husband and I would simply pay for our share while my brother covered his family. Nothing unusual. Since the restaurant was still incredibly busy, my husband offered to settle the bill with my brother while I took my nephews outside to play. My sister-in-law and mother-in-law stayed inside. I thought we'd be gone only a few minutes. I had no idea that my husband was about to walk straight into a trap. About 10 minutes later, my husband finally came out of the restaurant. The moment I saw his face, I knew something was wrong. He's one of the calmest, most patient people I've ever known. But that day, he looked absolutely furious. He quietly took my arm and led me toward the car. Confused, I hugged my nephews goodbye and waved to everyone else. Only later did I realize something strange. Neither my brother nor my sister-in-law would even look me in the eye. As soon as we got into the car, I asked, "What happened in there?" My husband took a deep breath before answering. When he and my brother reached the cashier, the hostess asked whether the bill would be together or separate. My husband immediately said, "Separate." Then my brother slowly opened his wallet. He looked embarrassed, or at least tried to. He quietly admitted he had no money. His credit cards were completely maxed out. Before my husband could even respond, my sister-in-law and mother-in-law jumped into the conversation. They accused him of trying to ruin Christmas for the children. They said refusing to pay would embarrass the entire family. Then came the line that made everything painfully obvious. "It's Christmas. You two have more money than we do. You can afford it." The restaurant was packed. People were standing everywhere. Not wanting to create a scene in front of a crowded dining room, my husband reluctantly paid the entire bill himself. To his credit, my brother did offer $5 because that was supposedly all he had. My husband looked at it, then calmly told him to keep it. He said it was obvious my brother needed it more than we did. That was the last time we ever assumed a dinner invitation actually meant the host planned to pay. After that Christmas, my brother and his wife invited us out a few more times. We politely declined every single invitation. Once you've been tricked into paying for someone else's meal, you don't volunteer to repeat the experience. Ha ha. It wasn't even the first time they tried using their children to guilt us into giving them money. Sadly, it wouldn't be the last either. Thinking back on that dinner reminded me of an incident that happened years earlier. Looking back now, I realize it was probably the moment I stopped blindly trusting my brother.